We are live and we are here today to talk about business and trust. And Buttons is in a container because the internet is not working so well. And Brandt, where are you?
I'm in my office.
So, and I'm on my boat. So, anyway,
Wait, everybody's somewhere.
so we're going to be talking about trust and why trust is so important in business and why you need it. Okay, so again, I'm Veronica Jeans and I'm an e-commerce queen, and I love anything to do with e-commerce. I help clients get online, sell their products, and sell them successfully. So Brandt, you introduce yourself, and then Buttons, and then we go into what we're going to be talking about.
Sure. Hello, people of the internet. My name is Brandt West. I am a professional speaker, author, and trainer in the field of creativity and innovation. Essentially, I help people find solutions rather than look at problems. And we're going to talk today about trust.
Yes, Mr. Buttons.
Yep, my name is Heyns. I'm from the company Connect People to People, and Brandt and myself have got a pleasure. I'm currently in Windhoek. Lockdown has stopped me from returning to school. Like I said, we're talking about trust today, and when I got to the location where I wanted to talk from, there was no internet or plugs or power.
Are you freezing a bit?
Then I charged to the next facility, which is a bar. And what people tell you on first sight. Thank you very much, and welcome.
So we had a couple of technology problems today, but hey, this is what it's all about, because it's not, sometimes things don't work the way they want to, but we still continue what we're doing, right? We still continue. Okay, so Brandt, when I talk to my clients and my business, it's all about trust, right? It's about people trust me. They know that what I tell them, they can believe in, and that they can, they actually trust what I tell them to do. And if they do, they become successful up to whatever success they want. And I tell my clients is that because they're online, because they are selling the products online, it's all about trust. They are small companies, so when somebody lands on their website, they're going to go, "Ooh, I like this person, and I like their story, and I know that I can trust them." So
Absolutely, yes. It's really everything focuses on trust. If you want to get something done, you need to trust the people around you, right?
yes, exactly. But you? So we've got lots of background noise, but hey, this is
What can you say actually? Yeah, so like I said, I'm sitting in a container, so hopefully you can hear me. But trust is a firm belief in ability um, or actually the truth in someone or something, and that's basically the definition. So you have to have confidence, to have faith, and you have to have hope. And if that's not there, the point and parcel of trust is not there. So it's like believing that the sun will rise the next morning. So that is trust. You have to trust that. If you don't trust that the sun is coming up, then the basis of trust is just gone.
Yep. And in a relationship as well, it's the basis of a relationship is trust, right? You trust your partner that you're going to have a wonderful life. You trust him to go out and earn, or let her go out and do something, and you trust them to come back home. So, and it's I think with whatever's happening in the world, and I have to talk about the whole USA right now. I'm not looking at the news, by the way, because it seems like the world's coming apart, because first we have the COVID, now we all have these riots and things going on. So that trust factor is really going down, and I think I just spoke to somebody just before this call and she literally from watching the news got high blood pressure. So her trust from her around her in her life is really downgrading.
Absolutely. So what happens when we lose trust, when we don't have trust? Everything seems to come apart from the seams. Everything we try to accomplish, and everybody's pulling their own weight because they don't believe in one unified vision or destination. And that's what happens when you lose trust, when you don't have trust. Everything just falls apart, and everybody, they get lost
Yes.
and they don't know what to do.
Yes.
And everybody stops thinking for themselves
Yes.
and think only about themselves.
Exactly. And that's what I found about this COVID thing, that people have not completely trusted what's being told to us. So there's that hope and that trust is really downgraded. So people are very, very anxious. I mean, I can hear it with people that I'm talking to, that clients, and they're doing well, but there's that the unsure and the trust of, okay, so what's going to happen next? No, we need to know and trust that you can move us forward, and so we can build our businesses, right? Or build our relationships.
Exactly. So that happens when if you want to have any sort of progress or forward movement, or as I'd like to call it, upward movement, not just moving on, but moving up, is that you need trust. You need to trust the people around you. You need to trust the vision. You need to trust your team, and you need to trust yourself that you are not just, going with the flock, but you are actually heading towards something that you believe in and that you trust in. So if you don't have that, it's not going to work.
So I have a question for you. So how would you talk to a company when you're coming in? How would you talk to a company to say, okay, how would you identify if there is no trust in the company? And then how would you actually get them to create that environment of trust in the company?
Okay, so when trust isn't there, sorry, please.
Sorry, Brandt, go.
Okay, so when trust isn't there, that's a big, difficult thing to do, is to regain trust. Because it's not just something you can snap your fingers in and say, okay, I'm going to do a trust workshop with you, and after the 3 hours, you're going to get a trust certificate, and you're all very trustworthy people now, and I'm going to leave, and you're going to be fine. It doesn't work like that.
Yes.
It's a process, and when you've broken trust, it takes a lot more and a lot longer for someone to build trust again. So what usually happens is that we've been hurt. If you've been in any sort of relationship, and that relationship failed for a variety of different reasons, and you want to get back into another relationship, you're going to measure your relationship based on your past experiences. And it's going to be so much more difficult for you to trust another person.
Yes.
Because you've been hurt. And the same thing happens in a company. If you've been hurt in that company, if that company has been untruthful, unreliable, uncommitted, they've promised things that they've not delivered, all these things happens in a relationship, it happens in a company, it happens between friends, and when we lose that trust, we have to claw our way back to earn the trust again. And that only happens when you start off with a commitment to communicate.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's so important, Budgie.
Yeah, I think Brandt spotted on there, because trust is faith that someone will remain reliable and loyal to you, and you have to be able to rely on them, and you can confide in them, and there will be safety in the relationship. So that's maybe easier with a client, with a one-on-one client, versus when you're in an organization, because it's an emotion and it's a logical act. And in the relationship, you expose yourself, and whilst exposing yourself, you have to be able to be reliable. And if that's not happening, and people find that you're not reliable, that you don't communicate properly, and that they can't actually in their whole relationship. So it's also very true in leadership. So if you don't have the confidence in yourself to lead, people won't trust you. And it's all about competence. You can't, for instance, in the military, you cannot lead a platoon or a company of people into battle without those people themselves being competent, and you as a leader being competent.
Right, so if I just sort of pick up the ball
When
here.
lives matter, and because lives are, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, but you're just sort of cutting in and
Yes,
out, so I just
yes.
didn't want it to like dead air.
Hello,
Yeah, but anyway,
A boat, a container, it looks like you two are going into business.
I've got the guy cleaning my boat here right now. So and I mean that trust is one, and this is, I also think there should be a way where the company can actually trust the employees. So it's a two-way street, right? And that two-way street is definitely communication of what we were talking about before. Is you've got to have very, very clear communication between an employee and the company. So I mean, and there's a couple of other things I would like to mention about that, but let's talk first about how do they create that relationship? What would they do and what would you advise a company on how to create that relationship?
Okay, so first of all, the ideal situation would be we start with trust and we allow them to expand their horizons. We give them a small area to play in. If they've done well in that area, we trust them with more responsibility, and we just sort of like we increase the limit of what we give them.
Yes.
And once they succeed, they don't have to succeed 100% of the time. But as soon as I see that there is progress, there is people that's happening, and there's all kinds of things that they are trying to do, I trust them with responsibility. You don't just jump into the manager's position having done nothing. Just finish the trick. If that's, then you jump into being the CEO of the company. It doesn't work like that. You can't just step into the Microsoft CEO chair.
Yes.
If you just got out of high school.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything. You haven't earned anything. So you need to start off by showing results.
Yes.
And a company will only hire you if you've actually shown results.
Yes.
Which is that sort of catch-22 thing. You know, you need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience.
Exactly. Yes.
Companies want to see that you've volunteered, that you've taken on projects and completed them. They want to see that you're committed beyond just a monetary value, that you're not just exchanging hours for dollars, but you're actually trying to better yourself, better the people around you, your community, your country, whatever it might be. And so if you show that you constantly try and get results, not 100% of results 100% of the time, but at least some sort of upward movement into a better position.
Yes.
Then I would like to see that you've taken accountability of your actions. If you've messed up, you've admitted it, and you've tried to fix it as best you can. I want to see that you've been committed.
Hey, can I just quickly interrupt? Buttons. So can you mute yourself while we're talking, and then unmute when you want to talk?
Sorry, Buttons.
Ooh, shoo. Okay. There's all that. There's all those guys bashing the dishes around in the background.
Yeah, but Buttons been, he's a champ, man. There's nothing that disturbs that guy.
I can't believe it in a container.
He's so calm and cool and collected. Everybody else is like, Buttons just sits there passive. It's just like, whatever, man.
Yeah, that's what
I've been through walls.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, sorry I interrupted. Yes.
No, it's fine. So I want to see that you've been committed to projects, that you've taken on responsibility. And if I see that maybe you've been in a long-term relationship, you've made wedding plans, all kinds of things, this gives me the indication that you are a person that is in it for the long haul.
Yes.
It gives me the impression that you're not just someone who's going to work here for 3 months, then quit.
Yes.
Because, this isn't for you. That you've actually taken the time to find out what my company's about, what you want to do, and how we can best serve each other.
Yes.
So which is why that question also comes up, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Yes.
Which is another of those little pitfalls in the HR department when I interview. And the best answer to that I can give is that you want to be in a position of responsibility, of accountability, and you want to try and help the company grow to a different platform.
Yes.
You shouldn't go say, I want your job in 5 years. It's like, well, I want to be the CEO in 5 years. Well, I want $1 million in 5 years.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
They want to see that you're going to be a benefit to the company.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you've lost trust, it is because you haven't taken charge of projects. You haven't shown results. Even if you promise something, like in a relationship, and you...
Yeah, yep.
That's quiet today now. So...
Yes, exactly.
So if you've been in a relationship, for example, which has happened to me, of course, and to everybody else.
Yes.
And someone promises you something in a relationship, just for example, time. We will spend time together, and that person does not make time. That is a break in trust, because you've promised results and you haven't delivered it. You've not admitted accountability. You've not tried to fix the problem. And even when we've had a conflict about this, and conflict can be healthy, you need to have a discourse about what's happening and where does it need to change.
Yes.
But change does need to happen. So if a company is in a position where trust is broken,
yes,
then you need to start with results. You need to gain small results as a company. Just trying and hold to the results and make sure that you are absolutely accountable for your actions. You can always delegate responsibility to somebody else, but accountability, which is the important part, has to remain with you. If you've messed up, if you've not succeeded, you need to explain why, you need to explain how, and what you're going to do to remedy it. You can't just go, whatever. That's not a company. That's just a lazy bum on the street, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what I would say is just start with results. Start with small results.
Yes.
People will start trusting you again if you've shown that you have adapted and modified your behavior by showing results, by taking responsibility and accountability for your actions, by being committed and seeing projects through.
Yes.
And when there's conflict, you don't just shy away from it.
Yes.
You face the conflict. You face the attitudes of the public, and you say, yes, absolutely, we were wrong.
Yeah.
And you can't go and the corporate salute is, it's like, it's not my responsibility. It's like, it's not my fault. That's the corporate salute.
Yeah.
Like, no. It's not me. It's not my fault.
Yes.
But if you're the CEO, everything's your fault.
Exactly. You see that a lot in very large companies, that it just floats around. The responsibility just floats. Nobody wants to actually say, hey, we're going to do it this way, and we made a mistake, and let's own up to it. And so, and then it also goes the other way to your customers and this is where I think small businesses have a hard time, is trusting their customers. So their customers trust them to get the product or the services to them. But then going the other way is trusting the customers and communicating with their customers so that the customer knows where they're at. Because, if you offer something to a customer, if it's a service or if it's a product or whatever, they want to know, hey, are you doing something about this? I gave you money. What's happening? And so what I find with small businesses is that, like, oh, I messed up, and maybe if I don't answer them, then they're not going to talk to me. It's like, ew. So, but you have to so force yourself to say, listen, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I will fix it.
And even if it wasn't your fault, as the head of the company, as the owner of the company, it is your business, it is your fault.
Yes.
Ultimately, if whatever happened, whatever didn't happen, as the head of the company, if you want to remain trustworthy, if you want to keep building trust, and you have to say, at the end of the day, it is my company, and we did screw up.
Yes.
And I take full responsibility for that.
Yes.
And I will do my best to regain your trust by fixing the problem.
Yeah.
As best as I can. Nobody can honestly reasonably expect you to fix everything 100%.
No.
But you need to see effort.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what sorry, Buttons.
Yeah, hello. I'm still here in the container. It's rowdy out here. And all the Harley Davidsons have just pulled in. Do not believe the bar owner. He tells you they're only coming at 6. when you have to build trust, it's a situation that, like Brandt said, action, not words.
Yes.
And you have to show that you can do it. Obviously,
Yes.
you have to acknowledge your mistakes when you've done it. And you as a leader must also show vulnerability. It's not working. Open communication, and you have to be proactive. And when you're doing that with your clients, you'll also have a situation where they will start relying on you and they will start trusting you. And people like to do business with people that they can
They
trust and who they like.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That is exactly the encapsulates the whole thing. People do business with people they like and they trust, right? So then we get to the trust factor is being authentic and being transparent, right?
Yes.
That is probably one of the biggest things that a lot of companies push against, but we only trust companies we only do business with companies that we can see, okay, there's they are responsible, and they are always telling us, well, we hope they're telling us the truth, right? They don't always do that, but you can be as transparent as possible online by creating that trust on your online presence and by being
So
online.
just like, for example, you see a lot of YouTubers and social media, I don't know, gurus, or I don't know what you want to call them, that they only show the best parts of themselves, which is, fair.
Yes.
You don't want, I mean, it's a difficult thing to have people sort of like have a window to your heart and your soul, to see all the broken pieces. But when you share the broken pieces, it makes you seem more authentic. It seems you more trustworthy, more human, I want to say, almost.
Yes.
And that sort of, it creates a bond.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, this person has fallen down, or this company has fallen down, or this company faces the same problems as my company, and that's the thing that creates a sort of bond.
Yes.
And if, for example, there was this social media post by a company in Windhoek, and they said, enjoy our chicken wraps, or enjoy our beef wraps, rather. And it was chicken. It was a chicken wrap. It's a simple expression, right? But a simple example. And I said, and I just commented, those are the chickeny, beefest wraps that I've ever seen. And I didn't say, it's like, oh, this. I didn't argue. It's like, oh, this is stupid, or
Yes.
They took it down and they reposted it without addressing the facts. Like, oops, I made a mistake.
Yes.
Right, I'm going to re-upload it, which to me would have been a much better option than to just delete my comment, delete the picture, and upload a new one.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
So
and that goes.
It's like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That goes. Sorry, but yes.
This reminds me of a story when Brandt says that when you go to a restaurant, and I had that experience. Now, unluckily for the waiter or the manager there, I know my meat cuts. So I asked for a rump steak, and they brought me a sirloin. And I said I didn't ask for sirloin, I want a rump steak. So they brought me another sirloin, and that was now done properly, but it was still a sirloin. Eventually, it got to the point where I asked the guy, do you actually know where a sirloin and a rump come from a cow? And then only did he tell me that they don't have rump steak tonight, but they serve sirloin to everybody. And that's not how you get a client back there.
No,
there's
absolutely.
no trust in them.
And this.
But now they've wasted 2 sirloins, when I could have just said, it's like, sorry, we don't have rump steak.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you just and we had this discussion with one of my clients who's exploded, and because she's exploded, she has obviously been behind with a little bit with her production. Although she's told people online, listen, it takes 10 days, but we in America expect things to be here the next day. And so she's had a couple of bad reviews. So out of 10, she's had 1 bad review. And she said to me, what should she do? And I said, leave the bad review and answer that client and make sure that you are telling them exactly what you're doing in the review. Because I would rather trust somebody or a company that has a couple of bad reviews, because we all mess up, right? But I want to see how do they address the problem when that problem occurs. And I know that if they've answered that problem, then I know that they will, if I have a problem with them, they will be there and they will answer me, right?
Unfortunately, our first instinct is to retaliate
Yes.
rather than open up a dialogue.
Yes.
So when someone criticizes you, then you automatically want to, fire back,
Oh.
and you want to take them down.
Yes.
And that's that's a natural instinct.
They
that you
don't
need
love
to fight.
me. They don't love me
They
anymore.
don't love me. Yeah, so you've got like 2,000 positive reviews, but just that one negative one
It is
really irks you.
terrible, terrible.
And now you
yes.
want to get out your trunk and you want to go blasting away and all kinds of things. So
Yes. But
what you need to do is what I've taught myself and what I teach my mentees is to embrace, extend, excel. So embrace the differences. Embrace the fact that they're not gonna like you, right?
No.
Extend the argument to a new pathway.
Yes.
So engage in dialogue. Say, I'm very sorry that you feel that way.
Yes.
Right? So what can I do to better?
Yes.
What can I do to extend this in a way that makes you happy?
Yes.
What can I offer you to do this in a way that doesn't compromise? I'm not saying take down the bad review.
No.
I'm saying, help me improve. And then how can I excel with that sort of situation?
Yes.
And then usually they will automatically take down, not automatically, but usually they'll
Yes.
go and take back the bad review.
Yes.
Only because you told them don't. Then it's like some sort of reverse psychology. It's like, you can't tell me what to do. I'll take that down.
Yes. Yes.
But embrace it. Don't fight against it. Embrace the fact that some people just had a really bad
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
And they take it out on you. And you need to be cognizant of that in the
Yes.
face that
You can't please
you
everybody.
can't please everybody.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Unfortunately, you can't please everybody. And here's about 6-7 years ago, I went on this workshop, out of state. And I was talking to somebody. They have a course, a Photoshop course, and we were talking about customers. And he was saying that had this experience of he's had got like 10 trainers, and this customer said, "I don't want this. I want my money back. I don't like this course." And he said, turned around and he said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. You join my training instead of my and they all do the same training, by the way, instead of that guy's training. And then if you don't like my training, then I'll give you back your money." And he said the guy actually finished and paid more to do another training. So it's also the personality type. You might not like the person that you're dealing with, but then somebody else talks to you on the phone and you go, "I like this person. They're very sympathetic," empatico, right? Simpatico with me. So it is the way we deliver it, and they might not like our voice or our accent
or your
whatever.
face or your mannerisms or your
I know,
teeth
I
or
know. Yeah.
the fact that your last name begins with a Y or whatever,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It can be anything.
Yes.
And that's just what it is.
So,
So I've got a company called Scribing Dynamics, and it's basically to help people who are in a position of responsibility, authority to get their work in print. So someone comes to me and asks me, it's like, why do I've written a leadership book, but I don't think I should publish it because there's so many books on leadership already. What do I have to say that's new? And I had to explain to her that it's not about the newness, it's about the you-ness. It's about you, your way of thinking, your way of seeing things, your experiences.
Yes.
That's something that nobody else has.
Yes.
So there's a variety of reasons why people would quit something,
Yes.
right? And why they don't like you, but there's so many other people who do. So focus
Yes.
on the positive.
Yes. Patti, you were saying something?
Yeah, I think it's all true, and what I think if there is in an organization, if there's trust, obviously it allows people to make smarter decisions. It will also allow them, and they will probably stay longer at the company, or they will start. Your client will stay longer with you, and obviously eventually you will give more, and the relationship that you build up will be will be even greater. And obviously, because of that trust that you build up, your client will now obviously also promote you to other people, and that is how you build your relationship with other clients and how you expand your business.
Yes.
If you don't do that, obviously there will be it can be detrimental.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes. So there are lots of ways we can build trust in our companies and with our employees and with our customers, and I think we are going to be finished for the day. So you guys want to just quickly say something to end the show?
Just a plug to our workshop from Despair to Hope. It is a
Yes.
program that me and Buttons worked really hard on, and it's all packed with wonderful and useful and relevant and relatable techniques and tips that will help you move up in life and not just on with it. So by all means, contact me, Brandt at thinkfonwest.com or Buttons at connectpeople.com.na. And we're happy to start a dialogue with you.
Okay, and I'll put those links in the description as well. So, and if you want to come back afterwards and just put your information in the comment, and then
Sure.
so we'll do both. So we'll do both. You see. Anyway, so I'm so happy you guys are back on again, and hopefully we won't have as much problem as today getting online. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Thank you so much for
Everything's a
joining
learning
us.
opportunity. So
I
Yeah.
know. This is absolutely wonderful. And Buttons, I hope you can get out of the container and have a
I,
beer.
I, I will now. I mean, it's obviously now with when we're in the situation of COVID, it's important for us to as a company, as a leader, to stand up and take responsibility, and
Yes.
and obviously close for the because if you are in a difficult situation, what happens? There's fear. So we have to close that door of fear and open the door of hope so that we can move forward. And thank you very much from the container. Maybe next week it's better. Bye bye.
Okay, thanks you guys for joining me. And we'll be back next week, and we're going to be talking about hope, right?
absolutely.
Fabulous. Thank you guys. Bye. See you again.